While Snitzel's son, Spill the Beans, had his stud career cut short, his son Ellsberg is a great option for mare owners standing at Murrulla Stud in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. He blends that great Snitzel blood with the wonderful precocious speed of General Nadim. It's great seeing Murrulla Stud, a really good Aussie property, and you obviously have a really good sort of family operation here.
Yeah, Caroline, we moved down here in 2008. So we've got 3 boys now. It's 500 acres, and obviously we're fortunate enough to be standing Ellsberg this year.
Tell me about how that came to be.
We're friends and have horse with one of the owners that's in it with Ty and Ian, Tim Parham, so we sort of got talking about him, and we're fortunate enough to stand a horse of his calibre and race record.
So when you look at Ellsberg himself, I mean, to me I can see, obviously he's a grandson of Snitzel through Spill the Beans, but from a General Nadim mare, he's got so much speed in him, doesn't he? But of course he was a mile winner of Australia's most famous and toughest spring miles.
He does, being grandson of Snitzel, out of a General Nadim mare. Like you said, there's a lot of early speed. He was a first start winner at 3, went on to win an Epsom over a mile, and then a 5 diamonds over 1800 metres, so there's the speed and also could train on.
What do you see when you see him? I mean, you know, you can see that speed in him, but you know, that General Nadim blood is absolute gold from the dam side, isn't it?
It is for sure, and as you saw today, he's such a beautiful type of a horse. Plenty of scope about him. He was a tough racehorse, genuinely loved to get into a fight, and as you saw in the Epsom, never stopped trying.
You know, the Snitzel blood too, I mean, that's just gold, isn't it? A 4-time champion Australian sire. And of course, Spill the Beans, he only, you know, had 4 seasons. He died way too young, but you've got Biscay in there, there's Redute's Choice in there, so some pretty big breed shapers in that pedigree.
It's probably a pedigree with some of the biggest names in it, in the breeding. As you said, all those names you just mentioned, Snitzel, Redute's, Biscay. General Nadim even, you know, started off in Queensland and come down to be one of the best down here. So hopefully Ellsberg can replicate what some of his fathers before have done. He came to us, I guess, about a month ago, walked off the truck, walked into the barn, put his head in the feed tin, and that's been Ellsberg ever since. He just eats and goes out into his paddock, and yeah, like you said, he doesn't bat an eyelid. Obviously why he raced on and was never a drama for him.
But he certainly put on a show. When he went out in that paddock he hadn't been in before, he really enjoyed that hill up and down.
He did. He might have saw the camera there and put on a show for that. I didn't think he'd do that, actually.
And he has a beautiful action, doesn't he?
Boy, he was such a good racehorse, isn't it, you know? To win 3.3 million, you're the real deal, to be honest.
Private Eye heading the line well, but how cosy for Ellsberg, hard on the bridle.
And Ellsberg is just a beautiful racehorse, letting down into a lovely stallion already. He took you on one hell of a journey, didn't he?
He's been a great experience, I can assure you. I was very fortunate in the start that I had raced other horses with Gerald Ryan, and Gerald was up at the Magic Millions, and I got the phone call to say, Ian, there's a must-have, and that's how I got into Ellsberg. And I then talked my son and one of my son's friends into forming TTI Syndicate, and yeah, we've been on the journey ever since.
And what did Gerald like specifically about him?
Gerald just loved the fact that he was so placid to train. He was a very easy horse to do that, but he also loved his courage in the races. He certainly fought on like a bulldog, and you know, he went to the line every time trying to win.
Well, he won on debut at Warwick Farm. I mean, that must be great as an owner for a start, the unlimited potential of a horse that wins at their first start.
It was fantastic, really was. You know, I was there that day, and yeah, we knew we had something special after that day.
Well, he was pretty early on, group placed in the Newcastle Spring Stakes at his 3rd start. He won at Rose Hill. And then, of course, first up next preparation, he won the South Pacific Classic. So then you have a group winner on your hands.
Absolutely, and that was a huge thrill. as an owner. We were just so excited.
What was Gerald saying at that time?
He said, let's not get, over enthusiastic, but we really think that we've got a good one on our hands.
But Ellsberg is going to lead all the way.
And of course he won the Festival Stakes, Liverpool City Cup, and had some great placings in the Villiers, the Silver Eagle, the Group 1 All Age to Cascadian. I mean, at that point, he was a serious Group 1 performer.
Well, we're on a journey, that's for sure, and the journey just kept going. Which was fantastic.
And what's it like when you have a horse entered for a race like the Epsom? I mean, this is one of our toughest miles, obviously, in Australia and probably worldwide. But the build-up to that as an owner, what's that like? Barrier draws, and where's he going to draw? And
I wasn't at the barrier draw, but I had my phone tuned in, and obviously nervous. And then the next 2 days, all we could talk about was Ellsberg, and we have a hotel in Newcastle, and it was just the buzz of the bar. Ellsberg.
Top-ranked Hinge. Ellsberg's fighting on the inside, coming home hard.
And this is probably one of the biggest torments for owners, I guess, a dead heat in a Group 1. What were your thoughts when they crossed the line?
I was upstairs. I wasn't with the rest of the owners, and I had a good view, and I thought we'd run second. And then I said to my wife, I think we've just missed. And she said, don't give up yet. And so I've run downstairs and I've seen the photo. I think we've won now, because I look at Gerald's face and he was beaming, and we thought we'd won. And then when the dead heat came up, well, it was just as good anyway, but it was just an unbelievable feeling.
Who's won it? Top ranked the outside at Ellsberg, the inside. Oh, it's desperately close. There is nothing in this. It's a dead heat. We'll split it. Top ranked and Ellsberg.
When's the talk, obviously, will he become a stallion? Will he be able to breed, and what do we have to do that? And then Gerald said, well, just settle down. There's 2 more races that we're going in. And he won the 5 Diamond Prelude, pretty easy actually. And then we were worried about, was he going to step up to the 1800? He stepped up to it okay. He broke the track record that day, carrying 59 kilos and won by over 3 lengths.
Head and head they go on the 5 Diamonds. Ellsberg just in front of Sabar.
That was a great effort. The celebrations were big. Very late back to Newcastle.
Well, it was Intergaze's track record of the 1800 that had stood, since the 90s. So,
quarter of a century. Yeah. And we just thought we'll let things go and see what pans out. And then the opportunity came to Murrulla, and we're all excited. As a matter of fact, I haven't been in breeding before, but the Ellsberg Syndicate, we've purchased 4 mares to send to us, so I suppose I'm going to be a breeder now.
And what's it like? You must enjoy learning more. Now, you've had so much fun with this great racehorse. I know, when you first get into the breeding or breeding a horse or any horses, everyone's like a sponge. Like, you want to know more and more and more about it.
I know you do, and that's why I've been trying to pick Tim's brains and other people in the industry, and it's certainly exciting.
Well, you're on a journey now that you will just, everything everyone says, you're just going to remember it, because it all relates to what happens with your horse and those mares.
Absolutely, yeah, and I can't wait. So the trouble is that I'm a bit impatient, and you just have to be patient and just wait. He's a magnificent animal. He really is. He's a real athlete. I couldn't have written the book better for the fun we've had out of him.
And $11,000 fee. And breeding rights are still available in Ellsberg?
For sure they are, and the owners in Ellsberg have been fortunate enough, so the breeding right you pay for your 2 noms, $22,000. They've included a bonus nom that can be used in the 23 season or the 24. So potentially you can get 4 foals in the first 2 years for a cost of $22,000 to a Group 1 winner, first season horse. It probably doesn't come much better than that, I wouldn't have thought.
Ellsberg features as our G1 Goldmine analysis this week, focusing first on his hot nicks through his grandfather, 4-time champion Australian sire Snitzel. French Deputy has been a great cross with Schnitzel Blood at 43% stakes winners to runners, including dual group winner Irithea and other stakes winners My Sister Lil and Egret. Elusive Quality is also a standout through the likes of Away Game, High Chaparral through Best of Bordeaux, and others with Street Cry Zabeel and Show a Heart also feature. General Nadim's best crosses have been Zedrich at 67%, while mares carrying Galileo and Scenic Blood could also work well. Ellsberg's Pedigree is rated a 2020 match.